I've got the... Okay. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshon Militanjena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Dasa Vrindavanam Vande Krishna Dasa Purumtata Chanavatar Chaitanya Leela Vistara Karino Donityananda Prabja Karunarina Bhushito Vyakta Chano Burachincho Vavande Vyasarupino Shri Guru Gaur Gandharva Govindascha Ganaisaha Jayanti Patakas Ch.Ch Sarvesham Gurunartino. So we are continuing this morning with our hearing of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, commentary by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Rupa Shiksha, Mahaprabhu's instructions to Srila Rupa Goswami, which is a very important section of Chaitanya Charitamrita. We were hearing yesterday about the development of the Bhakti Lata Bij and what are the principal obstacles one must face while they are nourishing their Bhakti Lata Bij. So can you name those things? When in growing your creeper of devotion, then what are the things that can cause problems? Okay, and what is the analogy given? If we're following the garden analogy, and no, the aparad, Vaishnav aparad, specifically Vaishnav aparad, there's a specific analogy given.
It will rip out the devotional creeper.
But what is the analogy given? Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know if they mentioned the elephant thing.
I think you came and you missed that part. You might have come in late or something.
Okay.
Yeah, the mad elephant, yeah. Mad elephant is compared to Vaishnava aparad, or Vaishnava aparad is compared to a mad elephant. That will come in. It's an Indian example. Here we might say a fox or will come in, or a dog or a rabbit or something like that.
And also you need to watch out for other vines and various plants. And
what do these weeds represent?
They represent
Yes, yeah. All of our anarthas, yes, very good.
And so they'll block, they'll take all of the nutrients from, depending on the different ones, they'll take different nutrients from the devotional creature away and block it.
Yes.
For themselves.
And then on the positive side, how should we take care of the creeper? Yes, have to water it. With what? Yes. Shravan Kirtan. Yeah, hearing and chanting. Yes, very good. Very good. And those are the three main points that I mentioned.
And build a little fence around it.
Yes. You have to water it with Shravan and Kirtan. You have to build a fence around it to protect it from Vaishnava aparad. And you have to weed. You have to take the weeds out. And we will continue. Shuddha bhakti hoite hoy prema utpana ataiva shuddha bhakti kohiye lakana. When one is situated in pure devotional service, he develops love of Godhead. Therefore, let me describe some of the symptoms of pure devotional service. And now this next verse is super important, very foundational verse, which is describing in gist the characteristics of pure devotion. We can conceive of different types of devotion. There's different mixtures. There's karma, mishra, bhakti mixed with the desire for worldly attainment, worldly activity. There's Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Bhakti mixed with the desire for liberation or the knowledge-seeking tendency. So we'll hear the verse here. So there's different types of bhakti, but we are interested in Shuddha Bhakti, pure Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti, exclusive Bhakti. And this verse is describing, what are the characteristics of that. As it is rendered here, Uttam Bhakti, the highest, supreme type of Bhakti. So this is, if you're making a list of important verses to learn, this is on the list. This very important foundational verse. And it is originally found in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Anyabhilashita, what did I just say? Did I say it was originally? No, that's not right. It is included in Bhakti Rasamrita. It must be originally here. And then Rupa Goswami has included it in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karma janavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktir uttama. When first-class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires. Knowledge obtained by monistic philosophy and fruitive action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. So this very helpful word is used here, avritam. Avritam means a covering. So all of these tendencies that we have at present within the heart, for anything that is non-Krishna, they are described as a covering. They are superficial. They are not intrinsic, they are not inherent to the soul, to our true nature as servitors of Krishna. So, and then there are three main coverings that are described here. Anyabhilash, karma, and jnana. And anyabhilash means like our whimsical desires for material enjoyment. Random, whimsical, fleeting desires that we have for material enjoyment. Then jnana, referring to the attraction for liberation and engaging in different practices and study with that purpose in mind, to become free from the entanglement of this world. So the tendency of renunciation also. And then karma, here karma, in this context, karma is referring to like a scripturally based attempt to enjoy more in this world. Like what we could say many general Hindus, the way that they practice, it is we are given these dharma, artha, kama, moksha, right? So that is what religion means, according to the Veda, like a general interpretation of the Vedas. That's what religion is: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. To follow your duty, to enjoy. That's a part of your like duty as a human being, and to have wealth, artha. So there is this there's this idea of following a religious lifestyle. And behind that is the idea to attain, to advance in these other fields. So, like an organized attempt to enjoy. Whereas anyabhilash is like random, uncontrolled, whimsical. So sometimes I think of anyabhilash as like a Western issue, and karma as an Indian issue. Which is better or worse, that can be debated. There are pros and cons on both sides. But anyabhilash, in a way, is easier to break because there's no system there. It doesn't have any strong foundation. There's no system. Whereas in this type of karma, then it's a very deep-rooted conception, and it's harder to break. One way Srila Sridhar Maharaj described it also was to this as it's being defined in this context, like trying to save something in your account for future lives. Like you're engaging in so much pious activity with the expectation that in your next birth you're going to have a particular result, or you can expect to be elevated to a higher heavenly planet, something like that. So it's like I'm living a pious lifestyle. I'm engaging in religious activity, following religious duties and ceremonies, and I'm expecting to get some enjoyment credits as a result that I can spend at a future time. like that. So, shunyam, one must be free, one must be devoid of these coverings. Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam, and it is something that is cultivated favorably for Krishna. And that it's a little hazy, but it means for Krishna's satisfaction. So free from, on the negative side, free from these negative coverings, and on the positive side, for Krishna's interest, for the satisfaction of Krishna. This constitutes bhakti or uttama, the highest type of devotion. What is uttam bhakti? What is shuddha bhakti? That which is free from these coverings of anya, bilash, karma, and jnana, and for Krishna's satisfaction, for his pleasure. So that's a simple overview of that verse. No doubt many more things can be said. Anya vancha, anya puja, chadi gyana karma, anukulye sarvinjye Krishna nushilana. A pure devotee must not cherish any desire other than to serve Krishna. He must not offer worship to the demigods or to mundane personalities. He should not cultivate artificial knowledge which is devoid of Krishna consciousness. And he should not engage himself in anything other than Krishna-conscious activities. One must engage all one's purified senses in the service of the Lord. This is the favorable execution of Krishna-conscious activities. E shuddha bhakti ha hoite prema hoy, pancharatre bhagavate lakan koy. These activities are called Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. If one renders such pure devotional service, he develops his original love for Krishna in due course of time. In Vedic literatures like the Pancharatras and Srimad Bhagavatam, these symptoms are described. And now this next verse, there's a few very foundational verses which describe the nature of pure devotion. And this is another one. This is originally from a more ancient text, Narad Pancharatra, and it's also included in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So, Sarvopadi vinirmuktam, and this verse Srila Sridhar Maharaj likes very much. He quotes in many places. Both of these verses, they're quoted by Gurudev and Srila Sridhar Maharaj a number of times. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktir uchyate. Bhakti, or devotional service, means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all the senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One is freed from all material designations, and one's senses are purified simply by being employed in the service of the Lord. So, sarvopadi vinirmuktam. Upadi, the word upadi, it means a worldly designation. Some designation that is drawn from this worldly plane. So that identification that I'm male, I'm female, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm American, I'm African, I'm Mexican, so on and so forth. All of these types of things that we identify with. I'm thin, I'm fat, I'm beautiful, I'm ugly, I am like this, I am beautiful, and all these things, I'm a teacher, I am a politician, I am an activist. All these things, all these identities which are based on our temporary existence in this world. So, pure devotion, it is free from any such identification. It is simply that, I am a spirit soul, I am a servant of Krishna. There's nothing else. There's nothing else there. There's this very nice story. Who did we hear from? Gurudev or Srila Sridhar Maharaj? I can't remember. Maybe Srila Sridhar Maharaj. But there was this one incident when Saraswati Thakur, it may have been after a Gaur Purnima celebration, and he was sitting in Mayapur, in his temple in Mayapur, and there were a group of devotees around him, and there was one man there, one devotee, who he was a householder, a businessman, something like that, and so he had some money, and he donated a large, very large sum of money towards the construction of the temple, and he was there, just seated very humbly on the ground, and he didn't have any asan there. And of course, Saraswati Thakur, he was seated in a chair, and maybe there were a few other sannyasis who were seated on some respectable asan or chair or something. I don't know. But then somebody made a comment, like, oh, so-and-so, this devotee, he's the one who's paid all this money so we can have this temple, and we should give him some nice seat. We should give him some nice chair to honor him. And Saraswati Thakur, he said he is a nirupadi Vaishnav. He has no upadi. He's free from any type of upadi. He doesn't have any worldly designation. To be an acharya, that is also an upadi. To be a sannyasi, a acharya, that is an upadi. And Saraswati Thakur, he's in the position of an acharya, and so he has to accept that honor in accordance with his role in the society. But otherwise, he's a humble grihasta, and he doesn't need to have that. One only needs to accept this on the basis of service, because they have a particular role in society. Then they have to accept a position of honor. But and in one way, it's actually a lower position, because it is still an upadi. It is a material position. To be in the position of an acharya, that is a worldly designation. That is a lower thing, actually. To live like a Babaji, to live as an avadut, that is a higher position, because it is free from any type of designation, worldly designation. It's a very instructive story, because it is like demonstrating what is the spirit with which our a mission should be pervaded. That one will only accept a particular, level of honor on the basis of the role that they're playing, not because of who they actually are, and not because they're superior to other Vaishnavas, but simply because they're playing that role. So, for societal reasons, it is keeping some order in society, and it is and it it's helping to keep the focus on the preaching and different reasons, but they are all actually external reasons. But substantially speaking, one's honor will go to who is the most hearty Vaishnava, not who's in a particular chair or seat, Oh, very, very nice comment. Like he was saying, like he's actually in a way he's higher than me. He doesn't have any type of upadi that he has to accept such honor, such distinction. So, pure devotion, it is free from any type of worldly designation. Tat paratvena nirmalam. It is in the interest of the Lord. And this phrase is difficult. I'm trying to remember the way that Srila Maharaj, trying to piece it together according to Srila Maharaj's explanation. But the way that Srila Maharaj explained this phrase, tat paratvena nirmal, nirmal means pure, spotless. And tat paratvena means in the interest of the Lord. And so the way Srila Maharaj, he explains this phrase, tat paratvena nirmalam, and this is the line that we hear him quote, many times. That purity is determined according to how much it is in the interest of the Lord. So something may be, and this is also related to this discussion we've had over the last couple of days about these verses in Bhagavad Gita. Api chet sadrachara bhajate mama, these verses. That even if a very sinful person is exclusively devoted to me, they should be considered saintly. And that can be understood in different ways, because another way you could understand it is someone apparently appears to be sinful, but they're not. There's different ways that can be understood. Apparently, according to your limited estimation of things, they're doing something sinful, but because it is in the interest of Krishna, then it is not. So the highest example of that is the Braja Gopis. That by ordinary worldly moral standards, what they're doing is immoral. They're having a secret relationship with Krishna. Krishna's their paramour lover, right? So they're breaking the general rules of scripture and society. So according to normal standards, they're doing something sinful. However, it is in the interest of Krishna. It is the interest of the center, of the absolute. And so actually it is the most pure thing. So what is pure is to be determined by how much it is in the interest of the Lord. On the other hand, something may be apparently very pure and very good and very clean, but if there's no connection of Krishna there, then it is worthless. There's nothing there. So it is an important point. Rishikena, Rishikesha. That all of our senses, they will be engaged in the service of the Lord of the senses. This is what we were talking about the other day. Will you explain that again? What we were talking about the other day with Devidasi. Like offering our perception. You explained it very nicely. I can't remember it.
She was talking about how one of the most basic things we can do is be constantly offering our perception to Ch.Ch. Because to be guided to proper sensory perception, like we're using our senses for ourselves, so we'll be perceiving the world according to our exploitative tendencies. But then if we're offering our senses to Ch.Ch, not just offering whatever we want to sense to him, but offering the very act of sensing to him, that he will have us see what we want to see what he wants to see, have us feel what we want to feel, hear what he wants, hear what he wants us to hear, that kind of thing. So at a very fundamental level, trying to be guided by Krishna, and the best way to approach the sensory aspect is through Ch.Ch. Most direct.
That's really, really nice. It's a deeper way of understanding it than because normally the way I've understood that is, you offer what you're enjoying with your senses, right? But this is like a step before that. The senses themselves, not like what you're experiencing in connection with the sensory objects, but what you will sense, what you will perceive. That is offered. Let me sense what you want me to sense. Let me perceive, through these eyes, through these ears, with this mind, Let me perceive as you want me to perceive. That's a deeper layer of surrender.
Because there's so many different waves in this world. There's so many different, there's the idea of noise and signal. But then also you could see that there's just many, many, many different signals, and so you classify those as noise. There's not anything really that's pure noise. It's actually all just different signals and different waves. There's just many, many different waves you can connect with. And so you're saying, connect me with your wave. Don't let me connect with any wave randomly. Because otherwise, how can we tell what is actually a signal and what's not? In some cases, it's very explicit, like often, when there's things about Guru Dev or whatever, then that can be quite explicit. But otherwise, your sensory world is a cacophony of random noise unless you're having it nicely guided. There is a proper way of perceiving the world, but otherwise, actually, the visual I got for it a while ago was sort of offering your attention to Ch.Ch and this kind of thing. It's like normally your sensory perception is like you can think of it like cotton, like it's fluffy and random and tangled, but then you can turn cotton into a very nice thread if offered to the loom of Ch.Ch.
Very nice, very nice. Srila Sridhar Maharshi compares the false ego, Jai Shri Guru Gauranga, to a machine that is receiving and transmitting false information. Like all this noise is in the environment, and our false ego, it's connecting with that, some particular strand or layer of noise, eliminating what is the real signal, what is the real current from the Lord.
And because of that, like a lot of people.
Wait, what did I just say?
You said that the
Did I say that's receiving and transmitting false information? Did I say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fairly sure.
Okay, I hope so. Please carry on.
That's why people get so confused, because many people realize there's something that's feeding them incorrect information. Like there's something in their environment that's producing wrong information. It's almost like trying to trick them, or multiple things even. If you consider your false ego working along with Maya. So people can detect the existence of the ahankara system, but because they have nothing more than that, they're unable to do anything with it. That just leads to you know, in a positive way, yeah. If you had some you know development, some like further development, but for most people it just leads to confusion and fear and that kind of thing.
Yeah. That's like where this whole simulation theory comes from, right? That people are so into nowadays. Like they get like they're not seeing things as they really are. They can sense that.
And they can also sense that like almost everything they're saying is not what it actually is. And even their mind is not what it actually is. Like what it you know, it's like they feel that there's something very, very off about all of their experience. But if you don't have any higher you know, agent to help you with that, then you're just stuck.
Yeah.
Like
existential dread.
Yeah.
You're stuck in existential dread. What a horrible way to live.
We should make a zine about Rishikesh.
Rishikesh, yeah. So this whole concept, Rishikesha, Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam, you know, that we will offer the very act of perception. Is that how you would summarize it? Offering the very act of perception, not the results of perception.
Yeah.
That's a more primary stage. Like to offer the very, very act of perception. Yeah. A very nice insight from Devidasi. Very nice. To serve the master of the senses with all the senses. And a nice point that Ch.Ch. made about this is that it's not that anything will be rejected, but with everything that we have, everything will be offered. We're not rejecting the senses, we're not rejecting the world, but everything will be offered, everything will be directed.
We want proper utilization.
Yes, utilization, not renunciation.
Because otherwise the tendency is like, well, if I can't have it, no one can.
Free from material designations, in the interest of the Lord, and a wholesale offering of oneself and everything one has. But I'll try to find, there's some very nice, I have it on my iPad. There's one or two talks in particular where Ch.Ch. gives a really nice explanation of this verse. I'll try to find that. Okay, maybe we'll just read a couple more verses. Madguna Shuti Mate, this is a famous verse from Bhagavatam, spoken by Kapila Dev. Madguna Shuti Matena Mayi Sarva Guhashaye Manogatir Vichina Yata Gangam Baso Ambuddha. Just as the celestial waters of the Ganges flow unobstructed into the ocean, so when my devotees simply hear of me, their minds come to me. I reside in the hearts of all. Lakshanam Bhakti Yogasya Nirgunasya Hudahritam Ahitukya Yavavi Ahituk, this is a tongue twister. Ahitukya Yavahita Ya Bhakti Purushottame. These are the characteristics of transcendental loving service to Purushottam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is causeless and it cannot be obstructed in any way. Salokya sharshti samipya sadupya ikatam apyuta diyamanam nagrinanti vinamat sevanam jana. My devotees do not accept salokya, sarshti, sarupya, samipya, or oneness with me, even if I offer these liberations in preference to serving me. So these are the 5 types of liberation which are described in the scriptures. Saeva bhakti yogakya atyantika udahrita yena tirajya trigunam mad bhava yo papadyate. Bhakti yoga, as described above, is the ultimate goal of life. By rendering devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one transcends the modes of material nature and attains the spiritual position on the platform of direct devotional service. Okay, I think it's a good place to stop for today. I don't remember what time we started. Maybe it's a little short. But
we started at a pretty good time.
Okay.
Would you like to read a few more?
Shall I read a few more?
If that's a really good place to stop, I mean, stop there if you can see.
No, actually, a few more verses. Bhukti mukti adivancha jadi mane hoy sadan korile prem utpana na hoy. If one is infected with the desire for material enjoyment or material liberation, so bhukti and mukti, you're both familiar with these, right? Bhukti and mukti. Bhukti, the tendency for enjoyment, and mukti, the tendency for renunciation. So if one is infected with the desires for bhukti or mukti, he cannot rise to the platform of pure loving service unto the Lord, even though he may superficially render devotional service according to the routine regulative principles. And now this is another foundational verse pertaining to the nature of bhakti, also included in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and quoted extensively by our gurus. Bhukti, so this is an important section. The Mahaprabhu's instructions to Sriyukta, these are constituting the very foundation of our practice. So a number of these important verses are included here. Bhukti mukti spriya javat Ch.Ch hridivartate tavad bhakti sukhasyatra katam abhyudayo bhavet. The material desire to enjoy the material world and the desire to become liberated from material bondage are considered to be 2 witches, and they haunt one like ghosts. As long as these witches remain within the heart, how can one feel transcendental bliss? As long as these 2 witches remain in the heart, there is no possibility of enjoying the transcendental bliss of devotional service. So these 2 tendencies, they are compared to these impure witches living in the heart. And then this verse, it's actually phrased as a rhetorical question. So if these 2 witches of bhukti and mukti are living within one's heart, then how can you expect that the joy of bhakti will arise there? It is not possible. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he made that very nice comment that it is like if you have 2 very low-class ladies seated on a bench, then you cannot invite the noble lady of devotion to come and sit there. First there must be some purification, some cleansing. You have to clean and prepare the area nicely. And this is what distinguishes the line of Saraswati Thakur with so many others within the realm of Vaishnavism or Gaudiya Vaishnavism, that we understand before we can expect the real thing to manifest, there has to be some purity, some cleansing that goes on. There has to be some pure practice, pure attempt. Otherwise, we will mistake one thing for the other. So this is another important verse. Okay, I think that is a good place to stop. And then there's some higher discussion of the development of bhakti. Okay. So this is the foundation of pure devotion, and on that platform, how is it developed, in connection with one's relationship with Krishna? That is what we will hear in the following verses. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Shri Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Whose turn is it to sing?
Hari Haraye Nama Krishnaya Tavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Shri Guru Radha Gita Hari Jiyo Ki. Jai Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Ki. Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki. Om Vishnu Pad Shri Srila Bhakti Sundar Vindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki. Jai Vishakha Devidasi Ki. Jai Nam Sankirtan Ki. Jai Gaur Nande.